Today, we are going to talk about an often overlooked gem from the Sega Genesis library, Golden Axe 3, released exclusively for the Sega Genesis. In 1993, this game tried to build upon the sword-swinging, magic-blasting action that made its predecessors iconic. However, it never quite got the limelight, partly because it skipped a physical release in North America and only surfaced there later through the Sega Channel, a service that, let's be real, was about as niche as it gets. Unlike the first two entries, Golden Axe 3 ventured into new territory with a refreshed art style, expanded character roster, and some bold gameplay changes. But with great risk often comes polarizing results. Fans were divided over whether this third outing was a worthy successor or a stumble in the series' final Genesis-era chapter. The tale of Golden Axe 3 stays true to the series' signature blend of fantasy tropes and simple yet effective storytelling. The evil prince Damoud Hellstrike, also ominously known as the Prince of Darkness, has cursed the legendary Golden Axe, plunging the land into chaos. Unlike its predecessors, which leaned heavily on straightforward revenge and rescue plots, Golden Axe 3 tries to flesh out its fantasy world a little more. The land is no longer a vague medieval kingdom, but a sprawling realm filled with varied environments, from lush forests to volcanic wastelands. Hellstrike's influence is felt everywhere, as monsters roam freely, and entire regions crumble under his dark magic. To take him down, players choose from a diverse cast of 4 warriors. The returning swordsman Kane Grinder, a hulking new barbarian named Proud Cragger, the nimble and cat-like Kronos Late, and a swift acrobatic warrior Ai, Sarah Byrne. Each hero has their own motivations for stepping into the fray, but the overarching goal remains the same: retrieve the cursed Golden Axe and banish Hellstrike's darkness. While the plot itself is nothing groundbreaking, Golden Axe 3 does attempt to introduce more layers through its branching paths. Throughout the game, players face choices that alter their route, leading to different levels and sometimes even alternate endings. However, the storytelling remains minimalistic. The narrative is primarily conveyed through brief cutscenes and text screens, with no voice acting or elaborate cinematic sequences. For some, this simplicity keeps the game focused on its action-packed core, but others may find it a missed opportunity to add more depth to the lore of the Golden Axe universe. Golden Axe 3 takes the familiar hack-and-slash mechanics of its predecessors and attempts to expand on them. At its core, this is still a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you'll carve through waves of enemies with a mix of weapon strikes, grapples, and devastating magic attacks. However, Sega tried to shake things up with new moves, a deeper combo system, and even some platforming elements. The biggest change is the expanded roster of characters, each with unique abilities and playstyles. This diversity adds a layer of strategy, as each character feels distinct, and some are better suited to certain levels or enemy types. For instance, Proud Cragger can bulldoze through large crowds but struggles against agile enemies, while Sarah's speed is perfect for dodging traps in more platform-heavy stages. Sega also added new moves to the mix, including back attacks, sweeps, throws, and even special grapples that vary depending on the character. While the earlier Golden Axe games relied more on basic attacks and spells, Golden Axe 3 emphasizes stringing together combos and exploiting enemy weaknesses. This makes combat feel a bit more dynamic and engaging. The series' iconic magic system returns but feels less impactful in this installment. Each character has their own unique spell, ranging from firestorms to massive ice attacks, but the visuals lack the same punch as the jaw-dropping animations of Golden Axe 2. The enemies in Golden Axe 3 are a mixed bag. While there's a decent variety of foes, ranging from skeleton warriors to grotesque mutants, their AI isn't always the sharpest. Boss fights, however, are a highlight. They're more challenging and often require players to master their character's moveset to come out on top. Difficulty-wise, Golden Axe 3 feels uneven. Some levels are a cakewalk, while others spike in challenge due to tricky platforming sections or relentless enemy waves. Gone are the fire-breathing dragons of the first game. Instead, we get creatures like clunky scorpions and underwhelming bird mounts. They're still fun to ride, but they lack the wow factor of earlier entries. Golden Axe 3's gameplay is a mix of innovation and missteps. The expanded roster and moveset brings some welcome variety. However, the clunky controls, inconsistent difficulty, and lackluster magic effects hold it back from being a true evolution of the series. When it comes to the visual and audio presentation, Golden Axe 3 takes some bold strides forward while also falling short in key areas. For a late-era Sega Genesis title, the game's graphics and sound design are a mixed bag, occasionally impressive but often underwhelming. Visually, Golden Axe 3 aims for a more detailed and colorful aesthetic compared to the grittier tone of the earlier games. Character sprites are larger, with better defined animations, giving each warrior and enemy a distinct look. The environments are another highlight, offering a variety of settings that range from dark forests and lava-filled caverns to crumbling castles and sprawling deserts. These backgrounds are more vibrant than those in Golden Axe, with richer palettes and more intricate details. However, while the stages look more alive, they sometimes feel a bit generic. The fantasy atmosphere that made the original Golden Axe so memorable seems diluted, replaced by designs that, while polished, lack the same gritty charm. The soundtrack of Golden Axe 3 is serviceable but doesn't hit the iconic highs of the first two games. While the music tries to capture the epic fantasy vibe the series is known for, it often comes across as repetitive or lacking in energy. The compositions are heavy on percussion and synth melodies, but they don't leave much of an impression. None of the tracks reach the memorable level of themes like The Wilderness from the original game. The original Golden Axe set a high bar with its gritty medieval atmosphere, and Golden Axe 2 improved upon that with cleaner visuals and more intense music. By contrast, Golden Axe 3 seems to lack a distinct identity. The brighter color palette and generic music give the game a more generic fantasy feel, which doesn't always align with the dark, high-stakes tone of the story. The legacy of Golden Axe 3 is as complicated as the game itself. While its predecessors are celebrated as classics of the beat-em-up genre, this third installment occupies a more peculiar spot in gaming history. Golden Axe 3 never saw a proper physical release in North America, which immediately limited its audience. Instead, it arrived on the Sega Channel, a subscription-based online service that was cutting-edge for its time but only reached a niche audience. This exclusivity ensured that Golden Axe 3 never achieved the mainstream success of the earlier games. Unfortunately, Golden Axe 3 marked the end of the series' mainline entries. The mixed reception and declining popularity of beat-em-ups in the mid-90s meant Sega shelved the franchise for years. By the time Golden Axe Beast Rider attempted to revive the series in 2008, the franchise had been dormant for so long that its appeal had faded. The disappointing reception of Beast Rider only cemented Golden Axe 3 as the last true entry in the series for many fans, despite its flaws. Though Golden Axe 3 doesn't carry the same cultural weight as its predecessors, it remains a touchstone for discussions about the evolution of beat-em-ups in Sega's golden age. Its limited distribution and divisive design make it a unique topic for retro gaming communities, sparking debates over its place in the series and whether it deserves more recognition. The legacy of Golden Axe 3 is one of missed potential and quiet redemption. While it's unlikely to ever reach the revered status of the original Golden Axe, its attempts to innovate deserve acknowledgement. For fans of the genre, it's worth a playthrough, not just as a piece of gaming history, but as a reminder of the risks Sega took during its creative prime. Whether you see it as a flawed gem or an underwhelming finale, Golden Axe 3 is an essential part of the Golden Axe story, for better or worse.